alive to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. And today we're talking about one of the biggest part of Polish culture, which is of course literature, and the novel The Doll by Bolesław Prus. Here with me is Julia Wilde. Again, thank you very much for this fascinating conversation we have here.
Thank you so much.
And the biggest romantic in the book is, of course, Ignacy Rzecki, a friend of Stanisław Wokulski, an older man, and with a huge cart and a small dog.
Yes, exactly.
How do you see him, and how Prus is portraying him?
Well, it's quite fascinating because he's very intelligent, very bright, but at the same time he still lives in this world of illusions, of great ideas, of honor and love, and he's a romantic, yes, with all his heart. He is kind of a father figure for Wokulski, but not in the sense that Wokulski really looks up to him, but he cares for Wokulski. Probably he's one of the few people that can appreciate him and see how great and wonderful he is. Recently I talked to Professor Lam, and he mentioned Rzecki is almost maternal in his love for Wokulski. It's not a paternal love, but it's a maternal love, tender and very delicate at some point, and he's so worried about his love life, and he's trying to be a matchmaker, and he's so devoted to Wokulski. And yes, he's a romantic. He loves all those ideas of uprising, and he was also the one who encouraged Wokulski to join the January uprising of 1863.
Biggest disaster for many also families.
Yes.
And because that's the other element, that a lot of women were left alone after the uprising and needed to work. And one of the few of the characters are also in the book. But coming back to Rzecki, he's portrayed through the first person narrative, so we read his notebook.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful idea, though at first when Prus published The Doll, which was at the beginning, it was serialized in a periodical, they didn't appreciate it.
One moment, because it stops the plot. Like we're waiting for the final,
yes.
And it stops the plot. It doesn't move you forward, because you just review kind of the same events through the eyes of Rzecki, but we learn so much about Wokulski.
That's true, right, because we have two separate, not really separate, but we have two parallel plot lines, because we have this this main narrator.
All-knowing
yes,
narrator.
Exactly, third-person narrator, and then we have the diary of the old shop clerk. And this is the Rzecki's diary, and we move back in time because he comes back to his childhood. He comes back to the time when Rzecki joins the Hungarian army in 1846. In the Spring of Nations, and we see all those battlefields, and we learn about his friend who commits suicide, because now we would say that he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, right, after all the blood and terrible things that he saw. And of course then Rzecki also tells us about his beloved Stach. That's how he called Wokulski, and he tells about his childhood and the time when he met him. Also, we can see how he comes back to the present time, I mean for him, so the 1878 and 79, and he comments, as you said, on what's going on in Wokulski's life. So it's very realistic. It really looks like a diary where you skip from one topic to another.
And it's also because the book, I would say, some say that The Doll is like the last romantic novel, and some say that it's like one of the first positivist novel, because we have those clash of two perspectives, and of course Rzecki has all of those elements of romantic, but he also has. He's a clerk, and he works in the shop. And there's this praise of hardworking middle class, also of German hard work, which Polish people take over and learn from them, because the Minzel family, which like Wokulski married into and take over the shop. They achieved this level of financial stability because of their hard work and their diligence and the fact that they ordered everything, and how is everything ordered in the shop, mostly by Rzecki, and his plan, his schedule of the day, and how like in pedancy he brings element, he deals with the customers. It's also, I would say, a praise to and a picture and a portrait of the middle class of Warsaw, and I would say of every big city, or even a smaller city, and everyday work which those people need to do, even until today, I would say.
Yes, that's a very good point, because on one hand, he is this very diligent and very good shop clerk who is very devoted and he loves his job. And he's also a romantic who plays the guitar, and he thinks about, he's obsessed with Napoleon and his descendants, and he still believes that Prince Lulu, so little Napoleon as he calls him, will come back and change everything, and he's just waiting.
all problems and all illusions of Polish society.
Yes, exactly right, and this fascination with Bonaparte and this blind belief in him, though well. Not really grounded. So it's very interesting how he is both a romantic, but he is also a hard worker, and
yeah, doing such, I would say, down to earth job, being a cleric, because after all, he's not a writer, and also. And having all of the ideas in his mind. So Rzecki is a person who everyone loves.
Yes, I mean, for me, he's the best character. I mean I know that he sometimes may be irritating, or that he's so blind and he's so naive, and he lives within this world of illusions, but it's part of his charm.
Because he lives in the shop, we never see him outside of the shop.
True, maybe once or twice, but in general, he's unable to leave Warsaw. He wants to go on holiday for a few days for the first time in 25 years, and he jumps from the train because he doesn't want. He's unable to leave Warsaw, and all his luggage goes to Piotrków without him. So he's so. He's part of Warsaw, and Warsaw is part of him. He cannot live anywhere else.
So The Doll by Bolesław Prus is also a book about the Warsawians and for the Warsawians. Some say that it was never written the better novel about Warsaw than The Doll, or we are waiting for another one like this. If you haven't read it, you have to do it. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.